Thank you for joining us today. My name is Scott Wenk. I'm Senior Vice President of Sales at Talley. I've been with Talley for 19 years. Started in 2002. Prior to coming to Talley, I worked at Roan back in Illinois. And then after leaving Roan, I worked at Andrew, which is now CommScope. So been in the wireless industry for 28 years. And like I said, I've been with Talley for 19. I'd like to introduce my guest here today. His name is Mike Kruse. He's the National Channel Manager at CommScope.
I actually started with Andrew back in '99. Was just summer help at the time. So from that time span that I've been there, started off working in shipping, worked in base station, building base station antennas when we did that here. Worked in our traffic office, worked in our shipping coordinator's office, worked on our customer service desk, working directly with our distribution partners, and then eventually into the role I'm in now. So all in all, 24 years of experience in the industry and internally within CommScope. Have just kind of seen the whole process of how everything works, which I feel like has given me a unique perspective in working with Talley and helping them along.
It's been 3 years since you've been out to California. Yeah. Glad you're able to come back. Didn't know if you were ever going to come back. So how's things at home? How's the family?
Everybody's good. Scott and I have known each other for the full 9 years. I think when I first moved into this position, Talley was the first account I got. So over time, I've taken on other accounts as well. But it was interesting because I wasn't quite sure how to engage with you. I was at CTIA, that was my first day on the job.
I remember that.
I was thinking, wow.
Vegas.
It was Vegas. And I remember thinking, wow, this is really cool, because I went from sitting on a desk and, just talking to people who were kind of in the procurement space and working with them to get orders out, to all of a sudden now, here I am, day one, I'm in Vegas, and I'm with the VP of the company. And Mark was there as well. So, I met both you guys that time. But it was just such a big transition from what I was doing before to that. So I think at first, there was some apprehension on my side. I'm like, well, how do I engage with this guy? I want to make sure I don't say anything stupid. And maybe you remember it, but it was first time I kind of started just joking around with you. You had sent an email, and I had sent you an email asking about something in particular. I don't even remember the details of what the email was at this point, but you came back and said, well, why do you need this? And I think I responded, I'd like for you to mind your own business. And then from there, I think it kind of took off from there, because I think we both kind of realized, like, all right, we can kind of mess around with each other a little bit. And, in this business, I think it's you have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to try to find a good time where you can. Yeah. Because otherwise it's just going to be super stressful. And I think that, the relationship you and I have had over the years has been that. Just a lot of joking, a lot of trying to have fun, still getting down to what we have to do, but at the same time, making sure that we enjoy working with each other. And I can say that I do.
So what we want to talk to you about today is how important it is to have a reliable partner in the wireless industry that we service today. I mean, it's very fast paced, ever changing, and we need to make sure that we're at the top of what the customers are needing to support the networks that they build. So when you look at the partnership that the two of us have been able to form, our goal every day is to try to provide solutions to the businesses out there with competitive pricing, with efficiencies, and ultimately that best-in-class service. So as we move forward, I'm going to ask Mike some questions about CommScope and how they've positioned themselves as one of the premier OEMs in the wireless industry. So Mike, talk to us about your dominant position in the industry and how you've been able to be successful in establishing that.
Yeah, sure. So, CommScope's been servicing this industry for about more than 80 years now. And with all that experience, it's kind of put us in a position where we have a unique perspective on what the customer's needs are going to be. We have a broad depth of products, which you guys are very well, you know what they are. And so anything from the top of the tower to the bottom is kind of what we look at. So got our base station antennas and filters. That product has evolved over time based on what the feedback we've gotten from the carriers. Most of that, though, is typically bought by the carriers and supplied to them. But where you guys really come into play is when we look at the Heliac solution. So all of our RFF cables, the power cables, Helix accessories. Then you get into the microwave side of things from point to point, and the steel solutions as well. And all of those products are a significant portion of our business. And we rely on our partners like Talley for our go-to-market strategy to make sure we can get that product there. So we also work pretty closely in the market to try to understand what do the customers need so we can develop products that suit those needs. And once we figure out what that's going to be, we have a pretty stringent internal quality control process, which I'm sure you're aware of. And so when you kind of couple all these things together, the years of experience that we have, all the different products that we have to meet the solutions from the top of the tower to the bottom, partnerships with companies like Talley to make sure we can get those products to the market, you bring all that together, and I think that's what has really helped kind of position us as one of the larger players in the market space.
And thank you for that. And that ultimately kind of leads me into the next point that I want to make is, as things are ever changing, can you expand on what products you have created over the last couple of years as you see that demand and the requirements change in the industry? So what have you done that's different, that's new to stand out to support the wireless network?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big problems that all these carriers have been facing over the years has been PIM. And so we developed a full suite of products to kind of address some of those concerns. So you've got the Snap Stack, PIM, polymer hangers. There's Gen 1, there's now Gen 2 that's coming out. We've got the PIM-free polymer adapters. We've got the Snap Wrap cable management system, and then the fiber coiler. So all these products kind of address that PIM problem that's out in the market. But the one that we're most excited about, which will be coming out soon, in fact, I think we've already kind of released it, but we're still going through a few things with it, is the brackets. So the PIM-free cable management bracket system, which we've kind of nicknamed it Star Wars internally because it looks like a spaceship. But with that coming out, and then you can use that bracket now with all of those other PIM solutions and really have a PIM-free solution set up on the site.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of give everybody a little bit of heads up on PIM, so passive intermodulation. So when you reduce PIM on a site, obviously you're helping that site perform better. So the carrier's getting more, I guess, more coverage and capacity out of that site, which again is offering their customer a better overall solution. So yeah, PIM has been a huge problem, and it's been awesome that you guys have came up with a solution to fix that. So as we add on to that, you can come up with these products, but you have to get them carrier approved too, right? I mean, yes, the carrier wanted the solution, but why did they pick CommScopes, and how were you able to get it approved by the carrier and show them that it would eliminate their challenges that they were having?
Sure. So we're kind of set up from a sales standpoint two different ways. So we've got key account managers, we call them CAMs, and then we've got regional account managers. Our key account managers work closely at the HQ level within the carriers, trying to understand the evolution of their network, what are they going to need, and so then the regional account managers are more out in the field, and so they're talking to the guys who are actually putting stuff up on the tower, or it could even be regional carrier locations too. They're talking to those guys just to find out what are the problems, what do we need to do. And we kind of take that two-prong approach so we can address it from the top down and the bottom up. And to develop the products that we understand that they're going to need based on all that feedback. And then we're able to leverage those relationships that we have, particularly at the HQ level, to get that product kind of moved through the approval process within the carriers.
So two good news. You developed the product, you got the spec position. Now, how do you support the market with that product? Because again, once you've proven that you can fulfill the demand and eliminate the problem, that's when the floodgates open and everybody wants the stuff. So how do you keep the market full of the inventory required to support this solution that you've created?
It is. Well, and you guys are a very big part of that, right? But so we look at it from the manufacturing side. So what can we do to increase our capacity when there's a lot more business out there? And we've got manufacturing locations around the world. Allows us to flex capacity up when we need to. It also allows us to supplement capacity when we can't get enough out of one location. We can also utilize another one. So that helps us from the manufacturing side to make sure we can get enough product out there. But I think more importantly is having it in market where it needs to be, and that's where you guys come in. So distribution is a key component to being able to supply the market when it's hot.
Sure. So yeah, that kind of leads into the next question is, and you just kind of started to answer that question. How has Talley helped CommScope be successful in the marketplace with, we do have 11 national locations. We do have a dedicated sales force out there supporting the customer base. And we understand the requirements as you guys do, but ultimately we rely on the products that you guys sell to support that demand. So how has Talley helped CommScope be successful with our joint solutions that we provide?
So I think you already just laid it out. I don't even feel like I have to answer that question, but
put it on a tee for you, buddy.
Thank you. So Talley, I mean, you're one of our longest partners that we've had, and you're also our largest partner for outdoor wireless network products. So there's a very good relationship that we've had here, and I think Talley does a really good job of focusing on the inventory and what's needed. And on top of that, it's not just the inventory that you're focused on, but you guys provide a solution to the customer as opposed to just selling a product. So you combine all those things, like you said, you've got salespeople out there, you've got 11 locations to provide to, and just your partnership with us and working with us to find out, well, what are we hearing out in the market and where are they going to need it? And so all of those things kind of combined, I think, is collectively we've helped each other out pretty well over the years.
No, and thank you for that, because I mean, again, we pride ourselves in when Talley comes into a door of a customer, we want the customer to want to see us come in the door, not only just to provide them with products, but also to provide them with that solution that you were talking about. So it is very key, and we do a lot of that stuff jointly together. Like you said, the solution provider. So just kind of to sum things up from the conversation today. And again, thank you for coming out here, Mike, so we could sit down. When you look at what Talley brings to the marketplace, and with our partnership with CommScope, we've determined that we can together get through anything. I mean, we've seen the highs, we've seen the lows, and again, it's all about the products, and it's about the deliverable and getting those products to the customer. And it's proven. We just celebrated our 40th anniversary, and that doesn't come without supporting the marketplace in the right way. So again, the CommScope partnership is solid. It's here to stay, and it's going to continue to allow us to be a good solution for the wireless customers out there building out the networks.
Yeah, and I'd also like to just thank you guys for everything that you do for us. I mean, I'm confident that we would not have the type of market share collectively that we do without the partnership with you guys and what you bring to the market. So we appreciate everything that you do for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.